Yo, what is up, YouTube? Kermit the Craig here. We're coming out with our first video. It's gonna be an absolute banger. I went on Google. I said, you know what? I'm gonna do a tricky integral. And I Googled it. And I clicked the first link when I searched tricky integrals. And I pulled this from the internet. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna record myself trying this integral with all of my expertise, my useless bachelor's in math. I said, you know what? I think I can do this. So let's just jump right in. We've got the integral of x to the fifth times the square root of 2 minus x cubed. Now, one thing you guys should know about Kermit the Craig, me, is that I hate difference of cubes. I don't think this is a difference of cubes. I think this is a u sub. Now, you don't have to use u, you know? Um, you could use q. So I'm going to do a q sub. And I think what I want to let q equal, I think, is 2 minus x cubed. Now, you're probably thinking, why are you using q instead of u? And my answer is, why not use q? So dq, right? We differentiate both sides. I'm going to differentiate negative x cubed with respect to x. I get negative 3x squared dx. Oh, that's nice. The thing is, I'm a little upset because I don't have a negative 3x squared dx here. So maybe we should rewrite this x to the fifth, no? In fact, I'm gonna take this substitution a step further. I'm just gonna solve for x cubed. And you'll see why after I do that. So if I solve for x cubed here, I get that x cubed is 2 minus q. And so now this is where the juice enters the chat, some might say. The juice has entered the chat. We have our integral. Sorry. I'll draw it properly next time. First try, I promise. X cubed times x squared will be the same thing as x to the fifth. I'm rewriting it like this because I can get an x squared dx from my substitution. We have 2 minus x cubed. Don't forget that dx. And look, there's our x squared dx. So I think what I want to do here is just solve for x squared dx. Divide both sides by negative 3, I get negative 1/3 dq is x squared dx. Beautiful. We can go to the q world. Don't ask what q stands for, because I don't know. Maybe it's question. Maybe it's quagmire. So let's just keep going. We have this x cubed becomes 2 minus q. This 2 minus x cubed under the square root becomes q. And our x squared dx becomes negative 1/3 dq. Okay, you're probably saying, Kermit, I clicked on this video because I already know how to do this problem, and I'm watching you do it while judging you. And I would say, fine, judge me. So you get negative 1/3 integral of 2 square root of q minus q to the 3/2 dq. You know what, let's be consistent here. I will replace the square root of q with a fractional exponent, q to the 1/2. We got to be consistent here, guys. We got to be consistent here. If we're not consistent, the world will crumble, okay? And this makes it super easy to integrate because for all the nerds in chat that do math in their free time, they'll know that integrating a variable with respect to that same variable just means adding 1 to the exponent and dividing by that new exponent. So let's just keep going. We're going to integrate at this step here. We have -1/3 2 times, so we add 1 to this 1/2 here. We'll have q to the 3/2 uh, divided by 3/2. So we're going to multiply by 2/3. So that's the same thing as dividing by 3/2. Then we have minus. So add 1 to 3/2 here. We get q to the 5/2. So that means we'll multiply by 2/5. And before you yell at me, I will add the c now. You can't see me right now. I could not be wearing pants, but I am. And we're just going to simplify. And then I'll replace q with 2 minus x cubed at the very end. So we'll have this -4/9 q to the 3/2. So we have a negative times a negative. That'll be a positive 2/15 q to the 5/2 plus c. Finally, let's go back to the x world. Goodbye, Q world. Say bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye, Q world. What did it stand for? I don't know. We'll never know. 4/9, 2 minus x cubed to the 3/2. And same thing here, just going to replace this q with 2 minus x cubed. And that's to the 5/2. So if you wanted to, you could factor out a term here. I think for aesthetic purposes, I will do that because it makes me feel better than everyone else. So I think I can factor out a 2/3 here. And I can also factor out a 2 minus x cubed to the 3/2. So this will all be multiplied to 2/3 times what gives me 4/9. Great question. That's going to be -2/3. And then 2/3, 2 minus x cubed to the 3/2 times what gives me positive 2/15, 2 minus x cubed to the 5/2. Great question. Amazing question. That would be 1/5 2 minus x cubed. And look at that. Look at our beautiful answer. Now, this is the part of the video where I check if my answer is correct. And if I'm wrong, I try and fix it live. And I slowly get more and more sad and I start crying. All right, so it looks like we are correct. That's great news for me. Doesn't mean I have to keep going with this video. So yeah, this has been Kermit the Craig's first video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll probably post more of these in the future. So if you like it, please like this video, subscribe, or don't subscribe. It's up to you. It's free will. So okay, goodbye.